Good morning. And today's counseling lesson brought to you by Ms. Truesdale, Mr. Marchioni, is on negotiations and compromise.
So we're going to start off with a small graphic. This just kind of gives you an idea of what perspective is. In the picture, you see a fish and a cat. The picnic committee runs into a problem. So obviously they chose under the water. The fish feels like this is the perfect place, whereas the cat feels like this is not the perfect place. This is a terrible place. And that's because they have different perspectives. The fish has a different perspective than the cat does. And perspective is a person's point of view.
And so now we're going to get ready to watch a short video. And I want you to keep in mind perspective. And this is on chores that siblings have to do. And as of right now, since everyone's stuck at home, I'm sure a lot of you are feeling this right now. So go ahead.
Where do you think you're going?
Out.
I asked you where you're going.
No, you asked me where I thought I was going. I know where I'm going. To Michael's house.
Oh, no, you're not. You're not going anywhere till you wash the dishes.
What makes you think it's my turn?
Because it is. I cleared the table.
So, I did a bunch of other chores already.
And now you have to do the dishes.
That's stupid. I did them last night. Oh, Tyrone, can you do the dishes for me? I have so much homework to do.
I got even more tonight.
You're always trying to get me to do your chores.
No, I'm always trying to get you to do what you're supposed to do.
Okay, that's not true.
That's the way it is.
Whatever.
Tyrone!
Lindsay.
Tyrone, Lindsay.
All right, so you're going to see there two siblings fighting over chores. And then Dad walks in. I'm sure that situation you see right there is very common in most households right now. What do you think went wrong there? Couple things I noticed is she was telling him what to do, and we're going to be very honest, no one likes to be told what to do by their sibling. Obviously, they have chores that they have to split up and divide and conquer, but nobody wants to be told by their sibling, hey, you got to do this or you got to do that. So what's something they could do to make that better?
Ms. Truesdale, I'm curious. What are the different perspectives of the two individuals in that conflict?
So, for instance, the boy's perspective is he did the dishes last night, so it's not his turn to do them today.
Not only that, he also helped her last night by doing the dishes for her last night.
What's her perspective?
She has a lot of homework. Again, she's stressed out, and she feels like it's just another thing that she has to do. And he's going out to hang out with his friends while she's doing the dishes.
And she already cleared the table, so in her mind, she's already done one chore. And he hasn't done any today.
Right. They both have a point. But let's see what happens. I'm going to switch over to the next slide. Okay, so here's the second part of this video, and let's see what happens and what goes better in this particular video.
If you want to have friends over, guess what you need to do?
Clean this up.
Not just this, but you've got other chores too, right? All right, let's see what you can get done in an hour, and then we'll talk about having your friends over.
Okay. I think we should clean the family room first. Then we can clean our bedrooms after that.
No, I'm gonna clean my room first.
Why?
Because I'm just having Michelle over. We can hang out in my room. You're having 3 friends over. That's why you need to clean up the family room.
Okay, I see what you're saying, but here's what I think. Dad expects us to clean the family room, right? Even if we're not using it, because it's one of our chores.
Yeah, that's true. But I have to take out the trash and do a lot of other things.
Me too, but the family room is the biggest thing. If we do it first, then all the other things should be easy.
I think it's easier for us to do the other things first and get it out of the way.
Okay, let's figure out all the chores we have to do, and then we can decide which ones we can get done in the next hour.
Okay, but let's hurry. Okay, what do you have?
I have my room, the laundry, and mow the lawn.
I have my room.
All right, so this time they still have chores to do, but what's the difference that you notice between this video and last video?
One thing I noticed, Ms. Truesdell, is that they were actually talking it out and brainstorming what they can do.
Yes, what I liked is that the very last thing they said, let's go look at all the chores we have to do. Because now they're taking into account there's more than just one chore. They have multiple chores, and how are we going to divide and conquer them? Because they both have a desire to have friends over. That's the whole point of doing their chores in their head, is to have friends over. Whereas in the parents' head is the chores must be done. So they're looking at everything they have to do, seeing what they can accomplish in the next hour, because that's when their dad's going to come back to the table to discuss it again.
And they're both willing to listen to the other person's point of view this time. They were giving each other time to speak and then thinking about what the person said. And if they didn't agree with that, coming up with a counter argument, or not argument, but a counter proposal to the situation.
Right. So he thought they should do the family room first because that's one of their chores that they have to do. And it's in his mind, the biggest one that they have to get done. And some of us like to tackle the biggest job first. That's how I am. Other people, his sister's perspective is, I'd rather get all the little stuff done first because in her mind, that's easiest to do. And so now they have to decide which way they want to attack it because they have different perspectives on how to tackle chores. So now to work it out. And the whole point of that video is to show you working together gets the job done easier. And that's one thing I've tried to teach my two kids is it's easier to divide and conquer together than doing individual pieces.
That's not just for students, that's for adults too. Ms. Truesdell and I, on many occasions over the past 2 years, have had to compromise on things when we're trying to work things out. So we can make, whether it be this presentation or activities for the school or whatever the case may be.
It's a life lesson. And to move this into the classroom, many of you are doing group projects where you go into breakout rooms and you have to decide how you're going to do things. You're always negotiating and compromising on a project.
And here we have a graphic of Ed and Sally choose a lose-lose situation. Both are paddling in the wrong direction and they're not going to, well, my question for you is, are they going to get anywhere? And the answer is absolutely not. They're going to stay right there because they're both not compromising with each other. So that is a perfect example of a lose-lose situation. And then we have a win-win situation, which is where both parties get something that they want, maybe not everything, but they compromise and get at least something so they both win in the situation, which is what we just saw in the last video.
The big thing is taking a lose-lose situation and turning it into a win-win. And that's what we want to learn how to do.
Ms. Truesdell, would you like to introduce this video?
Yes, this is the art of compromise, and I wanted something different other than siblings necessarily, but showing it in a fun, cartoonish sort of way. So we're just going to go ahead and take a watch of the video.
Miss Erin Doctor presents The Art of the Compromise. A compromise is a really useful way to solve a problem between two people. In order for a compromise to work, both people get a little of what they want, and both people give up a little of what they want. Let's look at a couple of examples. These two boys are arguing over the rules of a game. They each play the game a little bit differently. They can compromise by playing the game following one set of rules first, and then playing it again using the other set. If you have trouble deciding who gets to have their way first, a game of rock, paper, scissors or a coin toss are two quick and fair ways to make the decision. This kind of turn-taking is a simple, easy solution for many kinds of problems. Look at these two boys arguing again. One wants the windows open, and the other wants them closed. They can compromise by having the windows open on the way to the store and closed on the way back. It feels more fair if you can take turns having your way first. So the next time you're feeling frustrated with someone because you can't agree on something, give a compromise a try. You will give up a little of what you want and get a little of what you want. And you will be done with the disagreement. You'll be moving on and feeling better in no time. You may even have a chance to give this a try real soon. I know you can do it. Take good care of yourself.
What I like about that video is it takes some simple things that people tend to argue over and shown how you can compromise where you're giving up a little bit and you're taking a lose-lose situation and making a win-win out of it. You have to be able to give a little to get a little.
I like that simple phrase because it is really that simple. To have a win-win situation, you got to give a little and you get a little. So simple and to the point.
I love rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I use that all the time when coaching to decide what team gets to go first when we're scrimmaging and things like that. Very simple way to solve a solution, give a solution to a problem of who gets to go first, because everyone wants to go first.
And a side note, I really like the dog wanting bacon during that video.
So now to wrap it up, to respectfully disagreeing, how do we do this? Well, you notice first thing we did was look at the other person's perspective, see where they're coming from. Then we're going to take the second thing, action steps. We brainstorm solutions to the problem and we talk to each other. There's no yelling, we're not arguing. Example, all right, you want the windows down, I want them up. We'll ride one way with them down, we'll ride one way with them up. You can consider each option, and then you're going to pick the best choice, where both may lose something in the compromise, but it becomes a win-win for what is best for both. That's the give a little to get a little. And there, folks, is how you can negotiate and compromise.
The world we live in right now, when you're home with your siblings often, this will probably come in handy for all of you, and for us as well.
For parents too, sometimes we need that quick reminder of when we hear them arguing, hey, rock, paper, scissors, shoot it out. Quick solution ends the argument, makes it easy. Trust me, I need a reminder of that right now.
Well, everyone, that's our lesson. Thank you so much for listening. Hope you have a great week, and we will see you next week.